Wisconsin, how is it going out there? The snow has finally arrived. This winter storm that we've been talking about since the middle of last week is finally arriving on this Tuesday morning. Hi, thanks for joining our live stream. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Baylon here in the First Alert Weather Center. And we continue to go through the very latest data to track the storm that is pushing into the area. And it looks like the forecast is definitely on track. I hope nobody got out of bed this morning thinking, oh my goodness, where's all this snow? This is a long duration event. It's going to take a little while before we get those snow accumulations that are in the forecast, which generally range from 4 to 8 inches across the area. But that snow is definitely on its way. All right, so let's go to some of the maps here. Here's a look at First Alert Viper Max. And we've got snow that's coming down across northeast Wisconsin. It's generally light to moderate. The snow is a little bit heaviest. We see some of the blue banding. Oshkosh, northeast up into Brown and Kewaunee and Door counties. A little bit of a burst of some moderate snow from Stevens Point out towards Waushara and Marquette counties. There's a little bit of a lull closer to the Omro area. And in around Manitowoc, we've had some rain mixed in this morning, and that's briefly delaying the snow, but I do think as the storm system comes overhead, what we call the dynamic cooling, the cooler air aloft from the incoming area of low pressure is going to help to switch over the raindrops to some snowflakes. So we are under a winter storm warning across the area through tonight. All those white shaded counties, Menominee County, Michigan, south into the Fox Valley, and most of us will get about 4 to 8 inches of wet packing snow. This is the snow that's difficult to shovel because it has such a high moisture content. You know what? If you're someone who can get easily winded or physically exerted, you may want to go out and shovel it a little bit at a time as opposed to waiting to the very end. It's also the kind of snow that can clog up your snow blower, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to spray some WD-40 in the chute of the snow blower before you turn that on. It helps to get the snow to pass through there a lot easier. It is possible through tonight we could have some higher snowfall totals south and east of Lake Winnebago. Interior areas of Manitowoc County and Sheboygan County could see 8 to as much as 10 inches. So here's the forecast. On and off light snow during the morning, and then after lunch the snow and the wind picks up in intensity as the storm gets a little bit closer. The drive home from work later today is going to be difficult, and not just because of the snow covering the roads, but when you get a northeast wind with gusts around 40 miles an hour, that is going to sharply reduce visibility. Our temperatures are just going to hold where they're at, right at and just a hair above freezing, a high of 34 degrees. So there's our satellite and radar combo. The storm is not too far from St. Louis, Missouri. It is tracking to the north and the east. And we are on the northern flank of this area of low pressure. It's a good spot to be to get accumulating snow. Now, it's not just snow, it's wind, and we've had blizzard conditions out in the high plains the past day or so. We won't have blizzard conditions in northeast Wisconsin, but that wind is really going to intensify as the airflow swirls into this incoming storm. So now, here's First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. I want to show you this. I love this graph. It's one of my favorites. I don't get to show it too often, but today is a good day to do it. It's our snow intensity graph. So during the morning, the snow should be on the light to moderate side. But then in the afternoon, see how the snow picks up in intensity? At times it might be heavy towards the drive time home. So that's a good reason why a lot of schools decided to cancel. I know you looked outside this morning and you thought, could they have gone into school or what's up with that? You know what? It's not so much the parents dropping the kids off to school in the morning. It's the picking up in the afternoon that could be a bit of an issue. And in rural areas, if you get snow piling up and they cover the rural routes, the buses really can't get through. So I understand a lot of schools decide to play it safe, especially with this first full-fledged winter storm of the season. So there's First Alert Pinpoint Predictor with some light to moderate snow. And you know what? It might come down and then stop, and then come down and stop up through about 1 o'clock this afternoon. You might say that the storm's having maybe a few false starts if you're a Packers fan. You understand what that's like when an offensive lineman jumps off sides. But so once we get into the afternoon, as the storm gets closer, see how the snow becomes heavier and more widespread. That's moderate to occasionally heavy snow, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. This is coinciding with the drive time home with a lot of folks. And then there's that wind, and it will be blustery out of the northeast, coming off the bay, off of Lake Michigan, around 35 to 45 miles an hour. I don't think there's going to be a tremendous amount of blowing and drifting because the snow is really heavy and wet and it really packs. If it was dry and fluffy snow, I think it'd be all over the place. Now, that said, there will be a little bit of blowing and drifting, but not as much as it compared to if it was fluffy snow. But really, it's the sharply reduced visibility that has me concerned, along with the snow-packed conditions as we head towards this evening. So we go back into pinpoint predictor sky conditions. There's the moderate snow up through about midnight, and then the snow lightens up in intensity and disappears as we head towards tomorrow morning. So when you wake up Wednesday morning, the snow is done, but the roads will probably still be snow-packed and slippery. Road crews will be catching up from all that comes down overnight. Allow for some extra travel time. So here's Pinpoint Predictor's snowfall forecast. Up through lunch, a slushy inch or two, and then the bulk of it falls in the back half of this storm this afternoon, this evening. It looks like 4 to 8 inches for a lot of folks, and it is quite possible interior areas of Manitowoc County and Sheboygan County could have some higher totals, maybe 8, 9, locally 10 inches of snow. But 4 to 8 inches will cut the mustard for most of the Fox Valley into Door County. In the north, where you probably want the snow more than anybody, well, snowfall totals will be lighter, about 2 to 4 inches. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers with how dry and mild it's been in the North Woods. I really feel sorry for a lot of the winter enthusiasts up there because it's not been a good season at all, but at least we get some snow through tonight. So, in the Fox Valley, your severe weather outlook through tonight is in the high category. We'll drop it back to low and watching for a possible upgrade for your Wednesday morning commute. And I want you to keep an eye on Friday and Saturday. There's another storm system that's going to be moving across the region as we wrap up the week. There's potential there, but there's a lot of question marks on how much snow that weather maker is going to bring us. I don't think there's going to be as much moisture available, but that said, that storm system late in the week is going to have plenty of jet stream energy. So there is a lot of potential for that to squeeze out several inches of more snow later Friday going into Saturday. Stay tuned, we'll have more concrete information on how much snow is going to fall later in the week. So temperatures right now not too far from the freezing mark. We're at 33 in Oshkosh and Green Bay, upper 20s in north central Wisconsin. The wind is, well, I could say it's brisk. It's out of the northeast around 10 to 15 miles an hour with some higher gusts. That wind is going to strengthen over the next few hours. In Green Bay, snow 33, feels like 23, northeast wind at 14 miles an hour. So today, first alert weather day as this winter storm comes in. Periods of snow, heaviest late in the day, turning windy with a high of 34 degrees. Temperatures will be holding rather steady. Tonight, a low of 26, wet snow and wind. Difficult travel in the evening, 4 to 8 inches of packing snow for most folks, but there will be some higher totals southeast and some lower totals in the North Woods. And there's the first alert 7-day forecast. Slippery tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy, high of 31, 29 on Thursday. Now, tomorrow night and Thursday morning, there might be a couple passing snow showers, only minimal accumulations there. It's the Friday to Saturday snow that has my antenna perked up. Snow and wind again, and that secondary storm or potential winter storm will bring in the coldest air so far this winter. We're talking about high temperatures Sunday and Monday in the single digits with wind chills below zero. Later Sunday night, Monday morning, we could be looking at wind chills falling back into the teens below zero. If you don't have our WBAY First Alert weather app, I'm not sure what else I can say to get you to download it. There's constantly updates on the storm. We pump out movies updating you on the latest weather information. That way you and your family know what's going on. The hour-by-hour forecast is always super helpful. And you can look and track the snow with us with Pinpoint Doppler. So there's lots of great features on our weather app. And the forecast is always updating no matter where you are. If you decide to go to Dallas to see the Packers-Cowboys game, well, guess what? The forecast is going to follow you down there. So it definitely is a great tool letting you know what Mother Nature's throwing at us next. Again, WBAY First Alert Weather in the Apple App Store or in the Android Store. Coming up on Action 2 News at noon and at 4, meteorologist Keith Gibson is going to sift through the latest weather data. Depending on what comes in over the next couple hours, we may or may not tweak that forecast, but I do feel pretty good that it's on track. And also, sooner than that, coming up on Action 2 News at mid-morning, our 9 o'clock show, we're going to be recapping pretty much everything you just saw here, and I might give you a little bit extra as far as what's going on with this storm system. But we do appreciate you following us on some of the different sources out there, whether it be Facebook or YouTube or Roku. We know you're not watching TV all day. We get that. You have a life. And you know what? We want to be part of that life and be able to serve you and your family and reach you wherever you're at a time that's convenient for you. So just know that we're tracking the storm. We'll give you updates all throughout the day. Our first alert weather day will continue into this evening. Our evening crews are getting ready to deal with that evening drive time home. It is probably going to be very difficult. So plan ahead. Give yourself some extra travel time. And of course, we'll sweep up tomorrow morning on Action 2 News in the morning with the latest storm totals and how the road conditions are going. So thank you again for tuning in. We wish you a great day ahead and stay safe. See you around.